Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. Plans for a long-awaited flood and erosion control project on the Monterey Peninsula near Carmel are now available for the public to review. If you've lived on the peninsula for any length of time, you have probably heard about this project. You can now take a look at the plans and provide comments to the county about it. We're going to get up to speed on the Carmel Lagoon Barrier Project with Craig Spencer from Housing and Community Development and Damien Bai, also from Housing and Community Development. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have released a revised draft environmental impact report on the environmental protection barrier and scenic road protection structure and interim sandbar management program that the county has undertaken. There was an environmental impact report done in 2016. This is the revision to that based on changes we've made in response to comments. The public comment period for that revised environmental impact report is underway, and it ends March 20th of this year. We have information on our website about with access to the environmental impact report and how to submit comments and who the contact people are at the county. We could provide that link to all of you and be happy to answer any questions you have about it.
Thank you very much. Craig, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the project itself and what it entails. People hear the word seawall, which is a part of the project, but they don't know how much more there is to this project.
Yeah, so for a number of years, the county has been managing the Carmel Lagoon by placing sandbag walls and pumps at the dead ends along Scenic Point into the lagoon. There are 3 roads in particular that dead end into the lagoon. The houses along those roads are low-lying and frequently flood when the lagoon backs up. So the lagoon is the mouth of the Carmel River, and it does not allow for, there's the wave erosion on Carmel River Beach creates a sandbar. And so the river doesn't exit into the ocean until enough area builds up behind the sandbar from the river in the lagoon. When the lagoon builds up from that sandbar, it floods the homes in the low-lying areas near the lagoon. So in order to address that, the county has for several years done what we call interim sandbar management. That includes placement of sandbags along the lagoon, and then usually creating a pilot channel through the sandbar. And those two things are coordinated so that when the lagoon reaches a certain elevation, it finds its way through that pilot channel through the sandbar into the ocean, so it doesn't overflow the sandbag walls. That's what's called the interim sandbar management plan. That's done under permits from many different agencies and jurisdictions, federal and state, on an emergency basis, usually every year. Under those emergency permits and a lot of the information we've shared with the permitting agencies, we're required to reduce that in sandbar management and provide for some longer term flood protection. It is a dynamic ecosystem. So a natural breach of that sandbar from the lagoon into the ocean could be at any point along the sandbar. We call it the north or south points. If it's the northern breach of that sandbar, it is near Scenic Road. And so then the river water has the potential to erode away under the Scenic Road bluff on that side. So this EIR addresses both interim sandbar management until a project is built, a long-term solution for the flood risk along the lagoon, and a seawall or protection of scenic road from wave and river erosion, both for the northerly breach scenario and from regular ocean high tides and wave erosion that can undermine scenic road.
Are there any questions for Craig? I do have one that was submitted, but I'll take questions here if there's any. I'm not seeing any in chat and not hearing any shout out. A question that I had gotten sent in for this: what has been the public response to this project? Because it's been long in the works. There's been a lot of discussion, over time. What kind of comments have you gotten from the public in the past about what type of protection to create?
Well, we've gotten comments from both public and agencies involved. The lagoon is actually part of the state parks. And so we've worked closely with them. We also need coordination with the Coastal Commission, the State Water Quality Control Board, National Marine Fisheries. And of course, the people who live along the lagoon, who flood regularly, are very interested in how the county will manage that flood protection. And the people who live along Scenic Road, who have actually in the last 2 years, had access to their driveways and homes interrupted because of some undermining of Scenic Road that was subsequently fixed with an emergency permit. They're also very interested in the Scenic Road protection portion. State Parks is very interested in how to protect the parking lot at the Carmel River Beach and the little restroom that's there as well from the lagoon and the wave erosion. So there's a lot of moving parts. The people along the lagoon would like to see the sandbags eventually go away. They're not the prettiest thing to look at, and they happen pretty much every year. So a solution that helps them protect their views of the lagoon is of interest to them, while also allowing us to help them prevent from getting flooded. And then the folks who live along Scenic have an interest in keeping Scenic Road open for access to their homes, and are very interested in this project.
And besides the residents and their homes, which is really an important aspect of this, this also seems like it's going to protect the environment there. So it kind of has a twofold purpose.
Yeah, so the terms of the emergency sandbar management that occurs right now is the county needs to determine a way to reduce our mechanical presence in the lagoon and on the sandbar, and allow that lagoon to breach naturally for steelhead and other habitats. So that is the driving factor for having to address this. It's flood protection, it's seawall protection on Scenic Road, but it's also allowing the lagoon to go back to functioning naturally without mechanical intervention.
And then a question came in: does this project require Coastal Commission approval?
Yes.
And that will be part of the next phase then?
Well, so it is part of the permitting phase. The county has the ability to permit many things under our certified local coastal program that allows the county to do permitting in the coastal areas, and the Coastal Commission has appeal authority over it. But anytime you're under the mean high tide or building a seawall, there usually is a requirement for the Coastal Commission to approve at least portions of the development at their level as well. And once the county takes action on a project, it will have to be submitted to the Coastal Commission for review and approval.
Thank you. And then another question, has any estimate of price been associated with the project?
No. It is going to be expensive. We don't have a cost estimate for the project yet.
And this would be is this a county project solely, or are any of the entities that we work with, for instance, when we do the mechanical breaching, are they participating in this with the cost?
The county has bared the cost of the mechanical breaching and would likely bear the cost of the project. We will be seeking grant funding and other funding opportunities once we have the environmental impact report certified and the project, the preferred alternative project identified. Our Public Works Department will be seeking funding and doing all of the final engineering designs and construction. There will be a need for agreements with many of our partner agencies.
Sorry about that. If you're not speaking, go ahead and mute. And then one more question, Craig. You talked about over time, we've done so much mechanical breaching of the lagoon. Do you think that over time there'll be a savings to the county by creating the seawall, finishing the project, versus getting a permit and going through that emergency process each time we need to do so?
Yeah, well, there's an annual cost for our public works crew to put up the sandbags, to rent the pumps that pump the drainage from Carmel Point over the sandbags, so that the runoff goes where it needs to go, and for that crew to get out and create the pilot channel every year. And there are a lot of requirements that come with that for monitoring and reporting. So it would be a large one-time cost to come up with the permanent solutions, but it would have reduced annual ongoing requirements. We don't know what annual maintenance of the long-term solutions would be yet. And we don't have a full financial analysis yet, but because we're still in the early phases of the environmental documentation and project selection.
And then one more question, considering that you're in the planning process as you described, we've got the EIR review and then ultimate approval, hopefully, fingers crossed. What's the timeline for a project like this? Can you estimate 1, 2 years?
A lot
Any
of
estimate?
so it's going to depend on the preferred alternative and the funding sources. It could be as soon as 2 years, as long as 10. We don't quite know. We've done the Carmel River Free project, which had a lot of similarities, which includes the causeway over Highway 1 to allow the floodwaters from the Carmel River a little bit upstream to go into that floodplain and under the highway. That's taken closer to 10 years, but there is funding for that project and it is moving forward now. So if that's any indication, I'm gonna guess somewhere between 2 and 10 years, depending on funding.
Well, it's at least a timeline, maybe not a perfect timeline. Any other questions for Craig on this project before we let him go? Seeing none, thank you very much, Craig, and also Damien, who I know who was your wingman on this one. We sure appreciate you sharing information about this, and we hope that everyone will get out there, read the environmental review, and it's also available in the libraries and online. I didn't know if it's interesting that you put hard copies in the library.
Yes, we have hard copies in the library. We have a hard copy at our front counter at Schilling Place, the Permit Center, and we have the document available online electronically, all for free.
And we'll for all those watching, we'll share those links and information after the briefing. Craig, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
On to our next topic today. About a month ago, we shared information about plans for a new county community services center in Seaside. This is a county priority project. Well, now we get to talk a little bit more about the expanded services that come with it, since this is currently a social services location, but it will be so much more. And for those who want to hear more and ask questions about the project, there is a town hall meeting coming up next week. Joining us to talk about this is Yuri Anderson. She is Chief of Staff of our District 4 Supervisorial Office, and Lori Medina, who's Director of the Department of Social Services. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us to talk about this really very exciting project.
Thanks for having us, Maya. I'm going to jump in. I'm standing in for Supervisor Askew this afternoon, and just to share our excitement in the District 4 office about this forward-looking project. The county over the past 3 years has allocated almost $3 million to the development and rethinking of the social service building that's located in Seaside at 1281 Broadway. It's long been a project on our capital improvement program, but we've taken a lot of steps over the last couple of years to really move forward and to think about how could this building be used to provide the services that it currently does, as well as incorporate some additional services. And I'm being a little bit dodgy because I'm going to let Lori talk about most of that, but we just wanted to make sure that the community was aware of this town hall meeting that we're going to be having next Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 7:30 at the Oldemeyer Center. And it's going to be really the first large-scale opportunity to view the draft schematics that have been put together for the building and the new expanded services that are being thought about. It's open to the public. We're going to have representatives from social services, from the libraries, from the district attorney's office, and from our own public works facilities and parks there to go over services and the plans, to ask and answer questions from the public. We will be providing dinner for anyone who's coming, as well as offer Spanish language interpretation. So we really do want to see the community out there and let them know that this is their chance to help us imagine what this service center should be. So Lori, do you want to talk about what gets done there and what we're thinking about for the future?
Sure, thank you, and thanks for this opportunity. I will just, chime in and say that this is something that's been very exciting for us. When we started talking about this project a few years ago, we were really looking at either a building upgrade or a replacement just for social services. And as we started to have the discussions, we started to really reimagine what could be possible at that location to better serve the community and really provide more integrated services than we do today. So one of the things that we do know is that we serve more than 120,000 or so people a year at that very location. And it serves really probably mostly people on the peninsula or western side of the county. However, any constituent can come to that building and get the current array of services that we have, which includes right now their eligibility services. Such as people come there and apply for Medi-Cal, to get medical services. They apply for CalFresh so that they can feed their families. They come and apply to be on CalWorks so that families with very young children can get some support so they can move to self-sufficiency. And then we also have our general assistance program that's out of that office. But we also know that the county serves 1 in 2 constituents just in social services. So, and a lot of those clients or a lot of those customers also get served by a lot of other county services and or other community organizations. And so we started to talk about why not, when people are coming to apply for benefits, like a mom can apply for WIC, Women, Infant, and Children's program. So this is something that we've kind of said, okay, well, that can be co-located right there in our building. We can also, if people are involved in other services in our agency, that can be coordinated. So people can come as a kind of a one-stop kind of an opportunity. We'll have meeting rooms so that community organizations can have forums. We'll have opportunities for victims of violence to get services and get connected to services there instead of going to multiple places throughout the county. So we really just think it's an opportunity. Well, there'll be opportunities possibly for, library services there, which is a huge draw. And what a positive way to serve children and families that's in a very connected way. So we've talked a lot about really not just co-location, but truly having some partnership opportunities and to really be able to expand the support that we provide for families and really put our arms around the community. And and we really want to know like what the community would like to, see this evolve into. It is dependent largely, I was just kind of smiling when Craig was talking on funding. I mean, so we have a concept. We're in very early stages. We have a concept. We are doing the exploration to see what the needs are. But we do know that we're going to have to aggressively seek funding for this. And so we'll be seeking grant opportunities and other opportunities to help get this funded. But I will say that I am just so excited and optimistic, more than I have been since I've been here, that we are making such great progress to even get to this place. And I really want to thank Supervisor Askew's office for really advocating for this. And yet there is still more to be done. So we want to generate some excitement from community. I think it works really well with what the city of Seaside is doing for the community as well. And I just think when people come to the town hall and they see what could be possible, I think there's going to be really probably more ideas than we could fit in that building.
Well,
Lori, I
that's
just want to
what we want,
piggyback,
right?
sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
Yuri.
May. I just wanted to piggyback on your comment around fitting in with what the city of Seaside is doing. I think that's one of the things that is exciting and is an important opportunity for the county. So Seaside has their Upper Broadway redevelopment plan, which is looking at complete streets and bringing more businesses. And this is one of the things that we heard from our city partners is, hey, your building is dark for 120 hours a week. Is there anything that the county can do to help us in the redevelopment and the revitalization? And this is one way that we have been talking about doing that. So I think it's an exciting opportunity for that area and for our partnership with the city as well.
And Lori, I want to piggyback on the description of what you talked about of what this could be. You're trying to generate ideas, get people to tell you what services would you like now that we're not getting now? What services could we bring closer? I don't think we have another county building that would have as many services as this could provide in one place. Am I right?
I do. I think that if we can make this happen, it could be the model for how for the kind of buildings and spaces that the county wants to build in the future or wants to move towards. And not only just offices, but also the opportunity to coordinate so that clients don't have to go all around the county, that we coordinate to have things happen where they are.
And I think people also may not realize that when clients come to your staff, they don't come for necessarily one thing. Nobody shows up and says, I want this one thing from you, and then they leave and they get everything they need. Most clients need many types of services. So this is, again, one of those game changers where one stop, you're in.
Absolutely.
And then Yuri, for the town hall meeting, what should people be prepared for? What are they going to see? And then if they have ideas, how should they bring them up?
So we're going to have some presenters. We're going to have an opportunity for social services to talk about the services that they currently offer and what they're imagining for the future. The library, Hillary Thayer, our library director, is going to come out and talk about kind of branch services. Our district attorney will be there, and she's going to be providing an overview of what is a family justice center, and why do we think that might be a good idea for this building. And then, as I said, Public Works facilities and parks will be out there, and they will actually have some of the renderings for what we're imagining the building might look like if all of these services were co-located there. Both we'll mostly be looking at the external of the building, but keeping in mind that this is an important corner for the community of Seaside. So how are we thinking about it continuing to be an outdoor public space as well? And so once those presentations have been given, then we're going to have about 30 minutes for the public to ask questions and make comments. And they'll be able to do that orally, come up to the mic and ask their question. And we'll also have some boards around the room where if people want to sit down and write a note, that we'll be taking those away, gathering all that information. The session is going to be live streamed as well. But for comments during the meeting, people do need to come out to the Oldemeyer Center.
Very exciting. We really want to start the buzz on this to let people know what they can do, that really also that their opinion about these services really matters. Because, we can sit, Lori, I don't know if you want to speak more to this, but we can sit in our offices and we can think about what services would be needed, but we need to hear from people about what they do need.
Yeah, and there's also, one of the things that's really important about the feedback piece is we can think about what we think makes sense. However, the people that we serve might have a different opinion about, like, maybe having this kind of service along with that service in the same place may not be a good idea. So we've had some discussions about, like, should you have living spaces or not? That might not be a good idea or not to have a mixed use kind of place where you have businesses and residents, for example. So, so those are the kind of discussions we need to have in that town hall.
Very exciting project. I know we talked about it a month ago. We showed some slides of the facility. It's so, the possibility of what it could look like is so exciting. Thank you both very much for being here to share about the facility and the services. And we're looking forward to the town hall later in next week, later in the month. All right, thank you both very much. And now on to our next topic. We're going to talk with our friend Laura Kershner from Monterey County Works. You all know that Monterey County Works has fantastic services for people who are seeking work, but they also have really great services for employers who are looking for people to hire. So the Monterey County Works has launched a supporting small business program, and among the services that they're offering is videos, hiring videos. Laura, tell us more about these hiring videos, and then I know you're going to walk us through the Monterey County Works new website as well.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for having us on. We're excited to announce that we have it's a new line of service called Supporting Small Business, and I put the link to our website and the page on the in the chat below. We're offering to produce free, no-cost hiring videos for Monterey County businesses that are hiring. That's the caveat, you have to be hiring, and that they can use on their social media sites. So they're typically, it's a maybe 45-second spot, maybe a minute, as long as a minute. And it's just an opportunity for our local businesses to highlight some of the things that they're offering and to help them maybe overcome some of the instances of not having the publicity or the ability to produce them on their own. So that's something that we're doing in-house. Fortunately, we have some experienced folks here that are doing that. And it's a fun thing to produce. We can write the script. We work in connection with the local business's HR department. It doesn't need to be a Monterey County business. So I want to encourage Monterey County employers that are interested in having that done, small businesses in particular, to please contact us here at Monterey County Works. Our name, you can see, has changed. The Workforce Development Board has not gone away. We're simply highlighting the service now instead of the board itself. So board, rest assured, is still in existence. And we've just changed the name and highlighting the services, because this is what we do, is we bring local employers and job seekers together through our programs. So it's an exciting thing. We also offer, it's a string of different services. We've got rooms for use. for local employers that need a space to either interview people, or perhaps they want to hold some kind of an event. That's available through us as well as a couple other services. So I encourage people to check out our website in the chat below, supporting small business, to look at those things. I can give you an example of one of the videos that we've produced if you would like to see one. Okay, very good. Let me see if I can grab that. Okay. Share my screen. You know what? I'm struggling right now. Okay. Let me call that.
There we go.
Okay. Oh. Did that come up? There you go.
It went away for just a second. Try again.
Okay. This is the one I want to share. I'm on the Goodwill one.
Yes, I think it was a multi-squared.
Did you know that Goodwill creates
Are you hearing that?
for job seekers?
Yes.
As well as local employers who want to help individuals achieve their fullest potential through the power of work. Goodwill Central Coast employs 319 people in Monterey County alone and provides.
Well, we hear it, but we don't see it, unfortunately.
Oh, or beg your pardon. I'm so sorry.
Sick pay, holiday pay, vacation pay, and a 403B plan with employer matching. Right now, Goodwill Central Coast has openings for retail associates.
Now we see it.
Is it sharing?
It's sharing. Can you restart a little bit?
Beg your pardon. Technical
problem.
difficulties.
Did you know that Goodwill creates opportunities for job seekers as well as local employers who want to help individuals achieve their fullest potential through the power of work? Goodwill Central Coast employs 319 people in Monterey County alone and provides competitive pay, consecutive days off,
Can you turn up the sound a little, Laura?
holiday pay, vacation pay, and a 403B plan with employer matching. Right now, Goodwill Central Coast has openings for retail associates, assistant store manager, drivers, and training and development associates in Monterey County. Log on to ccgoodwill.org to apply today. Monterey County businesses are asked to contact Monterey County Works at 831-796-3341 or mcwdb-business services at co.monterey.ca.us for the production of no-cost learning videos. This one.
Okay, so that's just kind of that's an example of one that we've done recently. Let me take the share off.
Human resources.
Sorry.
And here we are. Here we are on your new website, one of your new pages.
Yes, this is our, thank you. This is our business services page, talks about the recruitment videos here, as well as our HR hiring hotline, all things HR related. That is a service that we are able to offer to Monterey County employers to take advantage of. Encourage you to call our hotline if you have anything, questions. We get all kinds of questions across the board about termination, about ADA, about a whole bunch of different things. So this is something I would encourage you to take advantage of. The others are the employee webinars that we offer. We started this year, January off with the labor law update. These are employee webinars that are offered at no cost to local employers. And this is something that folks need to know. So they are monthly webinars. I think we have them through, let's see, August this year. So I encourage you to sign up for our monthly webinars. Call me if you're not signed up and that's something that you want to do. Again, our meeting rooms can be made available. Our biggest room holds up to about 70. That one stays pretty full, but that's available to our businesses as well as our nonprofit community. First come, first serve. So you have to contact me here to get signed up and signed off on that. So a whole bunch of new services. Again, we're all about bringing local businesses and job seekers together here in Monterey County. Number of different ways we do that through variety of different programs. We've got programs for adults as well as programs for young people. We've got a great cadre program for young people between the ages of about 18 to 24, 18 to 30 in some cases. And those are specifically for individuals who might not have a lot of job experience, but have a willingness to learn and are anxious to show what they've got. So that's a potential for young people in the community. And for those that would have youngsters that are out of school and at least 18 years old, encourage you to check out our cadre programs. So again, now it's MontereyCountyWorks.com. Contact us if you have any questions. We're still doing job fairs and recruitments and bringing people together either online or virtually. That's what we're all about here. Our services are varied and are tailored specifically for the individual job seeker. Maybe you'll learn best hands-on and you want to go into a on-the-job training program. And that's an opportunity to show what you've got in a contracted type of position with an employer. It's we reimburse the employer at 50% of the individual's wage for approximately 3 months. So that's a good way to learn as long as you haven't done the work before. So all kinds of different things to bring job seekers and local Monterey County businesses together. We moved in the midst of the pandemic. I think most of you know we moved to 344 Salinas Street. And that is very convenient here in the downtown area, directly across from Casa Sorrento, for those of you that know the Salinas area. And we have our administrative office where I am downstairs, and then all of our service delivery is done upstairs, and we have the entire upper floor. For classes, for workshops, we have the what used to be the One-Stop Career Center is upstairs now, and individuals can come in and use the computer room. It's a self-driven kind of a thing, or if they want staff-assisted assistance and they need to sit with an employee coach, they can register for our services and do that. So we are here to serve and delighted to be of assistance.
Laura, I'm wondering if you could show the new homepage that you have, because you did update your website, and walk people through where they find the services now.
Walk people through, I'm sorry, say again?
I thought you might show people that some of the changes and the ease of navigation to find what they need.
Oh, yes, thank you. Can you see the page quite yet?
Yes.
Okay. This is our homepage, MontereyCountyWorks.com. Much easier to navigate than what we've had previously. Let me move this. Across the top, you'll see home, job seekers, employers, events, which you can also scroll down to the bottom of the page to see all of our upcoming events, which are loaded as far out as we can possibly do. It's much cleaner, makes more sense. We show our locations here. This is our Salinas office, is of course our main location, but we have 3 other locations in Castroville at the Hartnell College extension there, at the Monterey Adult School in Seaside, and then also at in Marina, right next to the Veterans Transition Center. We've got so we're really focusing on what it is that we do for both job seekers and employers. The former website was very heavy with text, and this is a lot cleaner. We hope that it makes more sense, that it's easier and more digestible for people to connect with our local employers. We still do a Workforce Wednesday, which is a fun thing, and we encourage folks to, if you need help perfecting that resume or learning some hiring tips, come to our Workforce Wednesdays, and you'll see those listed in our event page here below. There's a multiple employer job fair taking place today, in fact, and you can just click on the sites listed. That's from 2 to 5 p.m. today. We also have our Workforce Development Board meeting, which are always open to the public. There's an online fair coming up with the California Prison Industry Authority, which is a wonderful organization to work for. So that's again going to be an online one with CalPIA coming up on the February 22nd. We've also got an event coming up. I think it's very shortly in Greenfield, and it will be at the if that was on there or not. That will be at the Greenfield City Hall, and that's an exciting offering. So all kinds of things happening here at Monterey County Works, exciting things. And thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you here and share the great works of Monterey County Works. Congratulations on the new website, and we look forward to seeing more of those employer videos online and anywhere else they can be seen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.